The delivery of Mistral helicopter carriers deepens. The French paper Le Figaro has come up with a list of options that are on the table for Paris if the deal is eventually scrapped. Now, the vessels may be broken up, but that would require a further outlay of millions of euros, warns the paper. The ships could be redesigned for the needs of the French Navy or to find potential buyers. But that's also likely to be off the table, as the expenses could rocket to hundreds of millions of euros. And then, of course, there's the last one. That has raised more eyebrows, but was dubbed the most cost-effective. It's simply to sink the Mistrals in the open sea. Of course, scuttling these vessels in light of the tense relations with Moscow over the crisis in Ukraine would see 1.2 billion euros heading straight down the drain. We've been looking at what else could be bought for that sum. Let's take a look. Now, if you're a foodie, you might enjoy just about 9 tons of the French delicacy foie gras. Or staying with food, how about 300 million baguettes? Tasty, but just to make sure to eat them while they're fresh. And if you're into politics, the sum would be almost enough to sponsor nearly 60 election campaigns of the French president. And finally, for those who think that real estate is the best investment, with 1.2 billion euros, you could buy 1,500 villas at a luxurious French resort. Jean-Pierre Thomas, an advisor to ex-President Sarkozy, says any decision to sink such costly ships would be absurd.
I don't want to believe to such a decision. It would be completely nonsense and totally idiot. And I think that the General de Gaulle will turn in his thumb with hearing such a silly decision. On one sense, we will lose like 1,000 employment around Saint-Nazaire in France, which was building and working on his 2 ships. And second, it will be a big loss for France. And it would be the first time in the history that France doesn't accept to follow its own signature. France will lose money and will lose employment. That's into the business part. The second loss is the image loss. This Mistral has to be delivered. It's not to be mixed with diplomacy. Diplomacy and politics is one thing, and the business at this level is another thing.